Hey everybody, this time we're going to be doing a gold 2 Ana / Mercy vote review on Dorado. Let's see how many tips we can give this Ana in 18 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay, so let me move my camera actually to the side. I see Ana Mercy instantly. What is happening? What would you... Okay, Ana Mercy. Mercy's probably going to pocket one of the DPSs. In this case, Ashe or Torbjorn going to stay with Ashe. So my responsibility is going to be primarily to keep my tank alive and my other DPS alive. If they play with dive heroes, I'm going to be looking at my my Mercy a little bit more. Quality has been increased. Love the positioning here at the beginning. You don't have to play that safe right now, by the way. You can just look to throw a nade over there in the corner. Do some damage. Very nice. Playing from over here, but I guess you're worried about the Widowmaker. So when the round starts, press tab or like listen, press tab after 15 seconds after the round starts so you can see the enemy team comp, or you can just listen to audio cues or just see the enemies and see if they're playing with snipers or not. I love your positioning here. In the beginning I didn't quite like it, but them going with double sniper, this is gonna be a position in which you're gonna be super uncontested as long as you know where the snipers are gonna be playing from. So far you're doing this right, honestly. Like playing against a tank that doesn't dive and 2 snipers as Ana is pretty straightforward. If your teammates get 1 shot, you can't do anything about it. So you gotta make sure that your teammates are like full HP if you can, but they're still probably gonna be dying. You keep your tank alive, you look where the enemy tank is, and you don't play line of sight of the snipers. So I want you to hug the right side a little bit more. This is awesome positioning so far. Again, press tab. Do you see Hans the Widowmaker? This is great positioning. In gold. This is just awesome. This is what you gotta keep on doing, bro. There's nothing else other than increase your APM, as in like peek a little bit more, do a little bit more damage. You're playing this perfectly so far. Okay, this is a small problem though. Like when you're playing and the game feels a little bit, I know it's gonna sound, but when the game feels a little bit slow, that's when you gotta accelerate it. Does that make sense? Here you try to turn it around. Interesting mechanic. I'll get into this in a second. So when your job is too easy and you relax, that's when you lose. So you understood your job and then you relaxed. You were looking like, oh, I'm gonna look there. And then what? Orisa's almost dead. You know what I mean? So just move a little bit faster when you don't have that much to do, if that makes any sense. Your goal is not to keep necessarily your teammates full HP, but your tank in this thing up, as I was saying a little bit earlier. The fight that you took there, mechanically speaking, was pretty nice. When your tank died, that was a good turnaround. So I'm not going to comment that you should have done a little bit more. The execution is, of course, you're in gold. You got to play the hero a little bit more. I'm going to give you some tips towards the end of the VOD after I see more of your mechanical gameplay as to what you can do in order to improve. Of course, don't go to sleep that at a charging Mauga. Wait for that to finish, but I mean, I do it too. Nice. You can't quite do this. Okay. You can't quite land the shots. Throw the nano in. That's unlucky. That's unfortunate. You know what I guess is the best suggestion I can give you specifically in this team comp when you're playing with Ana Mercy? As I said earlier, Mercy is gonna be busy on like focusing on somebody. Your attention, of course, is gonna be towards Mercy, but like your Orisa is there. So Mercy's taking damage there. So you're not gonna walk back and look at Mercy. You're gonna be like, Orisa, Orisa, Mercy, Orisa, Orisa, Mercy, Orisa, Orisa, Mercy. Does that make sense? Like you never leave, or Mauga, you never leave your job. Oh, sick flank there. Oh, good job. You never like forget what your job is in that team comp. And this is, by the way, by looking at this, if you would have not told me your rank, I would have said that this is diamond. So I don't know how you're gold, honestly. This is awesome. Good nade overall. Try to do some scope shots. So far, the 2 main things that I'm saying is the fact that you gotta do more deathmatch or like more mechanical duels. So you gotta do more workshop modes with having the enemies that move at higher speed and look for duels a little bit more because you're playing like a little bit too safe from time to time, of course. And secondly, like your win condition overall, sticking to it. Not getting high ground against snipers over here in gold. A lot of people are gonna be like, bro, just get high ground and just snipe and stuff. It's pretty risky in gold right now against the 2 snipers over there. Of course, you can and get away with it. But this, why complicate things? Okay, just do it simple. So right now, this is great. This is great gameplay. I don't have that much to give you tips around over here, other than, of course, you see every resource that you have, pour it into the tank in this. Pour it into the tank. It's your mistake. You're actually diamond 2. Ah, okay. So this is a diamond 2 video. This is a diamond 2 video. This is not a gold video. This explains a lot. Okay, we have the one that was writing in chat like, there's no way this was gold. This is a diamond 2. Mechanics are awesome. Okay, so some straightforward tips. Against Mauga, of course, wait for him to pin after the charge finishes before you throw that. Number 2, I think this was when Mauga was hard meta. It was about pouring as many resources as possible you can into your Mauga and try to knife from the enemy Mauga as much as you can. As then you have the nade, you have the sleep dart, you have whatever, just throw it at the enemy Mauga. It wasn't that complicated. Oh my goodness, bro, you're playing awesome. Nah, dude, no, this is just like a result. Like this entire VOD just seems like, from what I'm seeing, sometimes getting distracted, I think, is the best way of putting it. This is a clear game of being focused. Breaking focus, I mean. It's a clear game of this. So like, for example, over here, there's no reason for you to peek the Hanzo here. Why? Your Sojourn's ulting, you should be enabling your Sojourn in that case. If you peek and you die, your team is 4 versus 5. You know what I mean? Like, less is more. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to communicate everything. You don't have to do everything. Like, you're playing amazing, but less is more. Every teamfight that you lost has been because you're trying to do something extra that you couldn't do. This is a great vote, bro. This is the time when you want to flank, you know, like they have +1, you're 4 versus 5, they're regrouping faster than you are. But look what happens if you do that afterwards, you know what I mean? This is good though, this is good, I agree with that flank. The fact that Genji got anti-dug, it's not that much on you. Good, now Mauga, not enemies, just a little bit. Look at Mauga. Interesting flank, awesome, but Mauga. Beep him, even nano to secure the team fight, pretty good. I feel like this is one of those VODs that is submitted to flex with it, you know? It's your choice to submit the VODs that you want, you know, if you feel like you do well or you do bad, it's up to you. I always recommend to like submit VODs in which you feel like you didn't do that hot, because we can like see more patterns that are emerging out of that. But this is a great diamond VOD overall, bro. Your mechanics are awesome. Everything's going well. It's just that remember what you gotta do. So like, for example, over there, yeah, you flank and stuff, but see the sight line, see what I mean? You're complicating it. So the plan is, of course, look at Mauga, but there's a payload there. How can I do that? I can play on high ground. I can play on high ground and I can just shoot at my tank. Tank is safe. Okay, I can do something else. You know how it is? Imagine that you have like a responsibility. You know, you have like an obligation. You have to fulfill that obligation. Then you can do something else as well. That doesn't mean that that's the only thing you gotta do. Of course, you're the one responsible to keep your team up alive and heal them, but you're not a healer. You're a support in that case. You know what I mean? But it can be... You're definitely playing like a support guy now, but it's about the thing that the mission that you have over there. Oh my goodness, this is just amazing. This is just amazing, bro, with how you're playing. But I'm telling you, 3 or 4 team fights have been pretty shaky because you're playing a bit too aggressive. A bit too much. It's kind of like, Mauga safe, he's good, what can I do? You're thinking like, I'm gonna do something and then do my job. It's the other way around. Does that make sense? Let's see this. Look, for example, there is no reason to do this play. If you want to win. If you want to win. If you want to like get higher, like get better mechanically and go for duels and stuff and like improve overall and test the limits, then sure. But risk-wise, this is huge risk. You know what I mean? This is a huge risk. Okay, let's continue watching this. If your intention was to like limit test and do a lot of mistakes and do them fast and see how fast you can get punished for them, then this is a good way of learning. But if your goal is to win, I feel like your understanding of the game, if you just simplify things, will help you get to GM in no time. I can definitely see you in Grandmaster games, bro. This is a Diamond 2 review. You go to gold. It is what it is. Okay, we're gonna edit this at the beginning of the VOD. Gank, maybe we can make a note about this. But you saw that I had a Lucio, so you had to sleep him there. No, you're not taking like the whole thing. Here's the thing. You're the one that's keeping the team alive in that case, because your team overall is gonna be easier for your team comp to win against the team comp, and your team's doing pretty okay. If they invest resources into you, they won't have resources. What happens if they touch and you die? What happens then? They lose the main source of sustaining the team fights. Everybody's probably out of position trying to help you, and if they don't help you, it's gonna be a 4 versus 5. Of course, it can just like... It will pay off from time to time, and it's about like testing the limits and learning. But again, if your goal is to learn the hero and to learn the game, to play a little bit, to play better and like improve, this is one of those, what I would say, 5 games in a gaming session in which you try to play as aggressive as you can. And then, while you play, do maybe 2 or 3 games in which you try to play perfect. Does that make sense? So this is one of those games in which you try things out, right? Look, that's a clear example. That is a clear example. Resources into Mauga, he's fine because they use resources. Then you can kind of like do stuff to the enemies. Or like the other way around, but not invest everything into him. You know what I mean? This is great pressure. Amazing pressure. But let's see how you lose this. Getting covered. Right side. There's a small door inside. You can also stay in front of the payload. You're in the open in front of everybody. Focusing on multiple things. Mauga had an insane position. Mauga died. You know what I mean? It's looking good. Looking pretty good though. And we can see like in the stats as well, like you have 4.3k damage to 5.6k to 6k healing actually, which is pretty high, you know? It is pretty high with your playstyle. But I'm not saying to like play a little bit safer. I'm saying to find the balance, because everybody can play incredibly defensive, everybody can play incredibly aggressive, but finding the right balance with how your teammates are playing and what you have to do is the hard part. You know, everybody can just like go and shoot the enemies, like forehead, yeah, wow, you know. But finding the balance into when you gotta do that and when you don't have to do that, that is the hard part, and that is what's gonna help you become like a way better player in that case. So like for example, how do you position in this case particularly? How do I? You have 2 options. You either go on a mission by yourself right now, like you go in flank and do whatever, to look for an opening before your team regroups, and then when your team is about to, everybody's gonna be seeing the enemies that way in your strike, so the enemies have to pick between you or your teammates. Or you enable one player in your team. In this case, look at the Zarya. Look at the Zarya, she goes right side, try to go right side as well. There's one more tip that I gotta give you though. Look, for example, like you look at Mei, you care about Mei. Caring about every teammate in your team, making sure that they full HP, is what usually leads towards you losing more games. Ooh, none of the full charge Zarya here compared to the Mei. Full charge Zarya is a clear better nano target than Mei in this case. There's one more thing that I'm noticing though, positioning wise, and I don't know if this is because you feel that you have an amazing game and you don't care about positioning that much, but I saw some people in chat say the same thing, and I agree completely. You should always try to get high ground.
Please, please, please. I'm begging you.
You should always try to get high ground. Always try to get high ground. Why? Even if you don't use it, you have it. Compared to like, you don't have it and you need it. You know what I mean? So like in this case, how do you path over there? You go right side and you go high ground. Your team Zarya dies, whatever you go right side, you go high ground. You take top in that case. And then if you gotta drop, you can drop. I recommend taking high ground over here on attack, especially because it's pretty hard. On defense, for on Dorado, it's way easier than on attack. Why? Because on defense, your defensive positions have high ground for the beginning. This means that the enemies are gonna have a harder time at like doing stuff to you because you have cover. And secondly, you're gonna have easier nades to land, right? But on attack, you gotta do the walk. Okay, seeing this a little bit. I'm gonna tell you something here. This was a bad played team fight with Mercy. Why? Because in this specific team case, we're in Diamond right now. So Pharah's, I expect Pharah's to do way more damage than before. This is about like caring about your job and then helping the others if you can. LW is the one responsible for keeping your teammates alive in that case over there on low ground. If they die, it's fine. But if you stayed from the Pharah from the beginning and just be glued to her, yes, your teammates would die. Your goal is not to keep everybody in your team alive. I understand that, Valk, it's fine. Your goal is not to keep everybody in your team alive. Your goal is to win the team fight in that case. If you make sure that you rest your teammates so that they get shot again. Oh my goodness, bro, you're playing amazing. Your mechanics are huge, dude. Your mechanics are awesome. It's about knowing where to invest the resources. In this case particularly, with Pharah Mercy, go where Pharah is. You're in Diamond, / you're in Masters, / you're in GM, follow the Pharah. Because yes, your teammates might die, but Pharah's gonna get 1 or 2. Because the enemies are gonna be focused on shooting the ones that are gonna be in front, that are gonna be dying, and your Pharah's gonna clear. You gotta get used to, probably, and I feel like this is what happens with a lot of players in Diamond and Masters and in GM, you gotta get used to winning sloppy team fights in which you don't understand what is happening. Because if you play support, you probably go like, oh my god, somebody died in the back, I gotta help. No. Zarya died, you don't have to help. No. You stay with Pharah here. You don't even look there, you can't help. You cannot help. And look, Bastion got a kill. Bastion's ulting. 2 versus, it's okay, it's fine. Look for an opportunity. You know what you could have done over there, for example, to do a little bit extra, because you can always do a little bit extra. Pick the ledge, so that Cassidy is going to try to shoot you instead of Pharah. Maybe that might have helped the Pharah play a little bit more aggressive in that case. You can always do a little bit more. Here's another example. Damage boost the Mauga Overdrive. Nice and simple. Damage boost Bastion with his target form. Don't care about the teammates. You are there to enable your Pharah. Whenever you're resting, you said something about the Mercy gameplay at the beginning, but in general, probably know this. If your spawn is that close, just don't go for the rest. It's fine. It is what it is. Your team's gonna respawn faster. It's better to just damage boost the Pharah that might get shots, or a Bastion that might do a lot of damage, rather than helping your teammates come back again to the fight and die again, maybe. You know what I mean? Look, for example, over here. Just stay with Pharah. You don't care about your teammates. Oh, interesting though. Let's see again. What I want to see in this team fight, with 50 seconds to go and your Mauga's pushing in, this is still winnable. What I want to see is that you try to enable your Pharah as much as you can. And when we have your Valkyrie, you also have like the option of popping the Valkyrie so that multiple teammates are gonna use it. Okay? So like in this case, I'm pocketing the Pharah, waiting for everybody to be grouped up. When my teammates are grouped up, I'm popping Valk. Why? Because I can flick between pocketing the Pharah and helping my teammates. We're 5 vs 4. The tank died. Whenever in Overwatch 2 the tank dies, I suggest playing a little bit slower because you have more resources. You wanna follow the Pharah deck. She went a little bit too aggressive. This is probably because you don't play that much Mercy, and like it's about like the patting. Pharah's gonna play aggressive once a pick happens. She's gonna go super deep. I don't quite like. It's okay. That I guess in overtime I'm fine with it. Pharah just does the damage. Okay, gets a kill. You don't have the rest. No problem. Find somebody else to damage boost. Don't look around. Don't look for damage. Find somebody who can you damage boost in this case. You cannot get a guess. I love playing the high gun over there. One thing whenever you play Mercy, try to damage boost at what I call power spikes. So for example, Mauga shooting with his E is a power spike. He's incredibly efficient right there. Bastion in target form as he is right now, also a huge power spike. Great gameplay using the cage as cover. Very nice. You can just damage boost the Pharah here, or like heal up the Pharah. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. Everybody died. Best apps who died. 30% to the ultimate. You go on top over there with the Pharah. Try to in this case, what will go through my head would be I have to be safe. I have to get Valkyrie. This is what I'm thinking about. So I'm gonna try to stay as high up as I possibly can in the sky so that the enemies, if they want to pick me, they can't get to me. Right? They gotta have to look all the way up. And I'm gonna try to be in range with my beam, with the Pharah, and the teammates. So this is good. This is pretty okay. Focusing on getting my ultimate up. It's not necessarily about damage boosting or like securing kills. My Valkyrie in this case, when I'm so close to the ultimate, I'm gonna try to get my ultimate up as fast as possible. Don't go for the rest. Valk, 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 Valk. You can still heal a little bit. Going for the rest there is a little bit risky because Pharah can just poop you out of it, which is exactly what she did. Go in full damage mode here, trying to secure a kill. Oh my god, I can feel the stress there. I think you can have it though. Pull out the Glock. Throw some melees in this case. Stay on high ground. Try to play your life. Mauga can just survive here for a pretty long time. There's nothing else that he can do. Okay, okay. So, pocketing Mauga here, for example, instead of pulling out the Glock, might have resulted in the team fight win. So, I'm going to tell you the following things to do really fast before we're going to stop the vote review. Number one, keep it simple. Do your job. And after your job is done, do extra. Don't be like, oh my god, I can do this because I'm fine with that. No, do that thing first and then follow on something else. Secondly, simplify what you have to do. As in just make a note. I do this. That's about it, and then you improvise. And thirdly that I want to tell you is I love this VOD review. This is a great VOD review. I can see why you lost. If you play 4 games, have at least half of them in which you play like this. I always say that do a lot of mistakes and do them fast because you'll learn fast. If you always play safe, you will not know when to play aggressive. It's better to fail hard and fast, my opinion, so you can learn what you're doing wrong faster. This would be one of those games. But in the next game, you might be like, I want to play smarter. And the way you can do that is limit the amount of times that you die per game, and you're going to see how much that's going to influence you. So for example, in this case, you went like, I died 11 times. Next game, I don't know the team comp, I don't know the map, I want to die 5 times. That's it, 5 times. It can be any number you want. And you will see that you're going to learn and climb in no time, bro. This is an amazing VOD. You have great mechanics. And I hope to see you in my rank game soon. Because you're going to get to GM in no time.